Welcome, friends, to the animation experience at Conservation Station. Since the 1930s, Disney animators have put their pencils to paper in service of the idea that the greatest inspiration often comes from the magic of nature. Walt Disney himself understood the importance of spending time around animals, studying their behavior and personalities in order to create realistic characters and dynamic storylines. This meeting of the human and animal worlds sparked a legacy of storytelling that has shaped our relationship with animals and conservation forever. Today, we invite you to become a part of that legacy as our own Disney artists help you learn to sketch characters inspired by the very animals found here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Get your pencils ready, because here comes our animation artist now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the animation experience here at Conservation Station. How's everybody doing today? All right, one person's doing all right. How's everybody else? Awesome. So, how many of you are here for the very first time at the animation experience? Ooh, there's a lot of you. I know we have some familiar faces out there, so welcome back to our repeat guests. We always love to see you guys come back. For all of the new people, there's one last thing that we need to be ready to draw our character here today, because we've got all of the other tools that the voiceover talked about. The last thing we need is a little thing called inspiration. So to inspire you to draw a very wise, very mystical, and magnificent monkey, turn your attention to the screens and watch this.
Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. We are all connected in the great circle of life.
Is everybody inspired? Awesome. So let's get started and let's draw Rafiki. And we're going to start by giving him some eyes. And his eyes are going to fit between these two curved lines here near the very bottom of our circle. And so I'm going to zoom in on those because it'll be a lot easier if we can see them a little more clearly. And they're going to fit right here into these two sections. You find that little U shape, that little wave right above it, go straight down from the end of that. Just kind of hover your pencil over, and I'm just going to put a little mark right there at that top line on each side. That's right about where his eyes are going to touch that top guideline. The shape of his eye is an oval. Very light, very sketchy. I'm going to swing that all the way down to the bottom of the circle. I'm going to draw that entire oval shape in. But then we're going to give him some eyelids, so we're going to cover up part of that eyeball. And that's how you like to draw stuff. You draw the basic shapes first, and then you add in the details. And I'm sure many of you have already noticed by now that your souvenir pencils, just like mine, do not have erasers. So keep your lines light, keep them messy. Do not be afraid of making mistakes or drawing things that, you realize, oh, I should have moved that over here, or that goes over there instead, and redrawing things. That's how animators work. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to keep it light, we're going to keep it messy, and then we're going to find what we want and go over it afterward. So again, nice big oval. This one's going to be a little skinnier because his head is slightly turned. I'm just making lots of lines, and eventually I'll find the ones that I like the best. And that's how animators draw stuff. And keep in mind, this movie came out 30 years ago, right? We are celebrating the 30th anniversary. The movie's done. We are not going to hire anyone else to work on The Lion King. I know. So whatever you do, do not treat this like a job interview. Do not treat this like an audition. No matter how good or bad your drawing is, I do not have the power to hire any of you. No recruiters are hiding in the bushes, waiting to jump out and look at your drawing going, that's the most amazing Rafiki I have seen since James Baxter drew him for the original film. That's not going to happen today. That was yesterday. You missed it. So take all that pressure off, just have fun. So now we've got our eyes. Let's go ahead and add in some of those eyelids. So I'm going to bring up Rafiki's lower eyelids, kind of right about where the curved line is above the bottom of the circle. I'm going to draw a little smiley face. So I'm covering up the bottom part of his eyeball a little bit with that lower eyelid. You see that one's nice and dark? That's the secret to drawing without an eraser. As I said, keep it light, keep it messy, and then when you find what you want, go over it and darken it in. So there are his eyelids. We'll do the same thing here. Put a little smiley face right across that bottom guideline. So now he can see. And his eyes are forward facing, just like ours, because he is a monkey. He is an omnivore. Mostly mandrills are going to eat fruits and nuts and seeds and things like that. But if a small animal happens to cross their path, they might not be opposed to eating it. Frequently insects and small bugs like that, they'll pick off of each other when they're grooming. Grooming is a very important process in primates. Monkeys and apes will groom each other. And don't eat those little insects because, yum, free snack. So now we've got his eyes. Let's give him some pupils so he can see. And Rafiki has these little tiny beady pupils. I'm going to put this one kind of right at the bottom center of his eye. A tiny circle. And on this side, because I want him looking towards us and his head is turned to the side, I'm going to put this pupil kind of toward the bottom corner of his eye. Now if you want, you can shade them in completely. I like to add a little twinkle of light to his eye just to show there is light in the world he lives in. So whichever direction you want the sun to be in, if you want the sun high noon, if you want it over to this side, or if you want it over to that side, wherever you like, you can put a little tiny twinkle in his eye. I'm going to say it's like 11:30-ish. And then shade in the rest of that pupil around it. If you don't want to shade anything in at all, you don't have to. It's completely up to you. Oh, there are his eyes. Around his eyes, we're going to add some eye patches. Mandrills have these dark patches that go around their eye. So I'm going to start kind of right above the blue line here at the edge of the circle. And I'm basically going to curve over his eyeball and then follow the shape of that eye right down toward the bottom of the circle, right near that center line. And keeping it really light and sketchy. Kind of curve up and across. And we'll do the same thing on this side, from the edge of the circle just above that blue line. And follow the curve of the eye right between it and that center line. So that'll be the start of the top part of the eye patch. The bottom of the eye patch, well, we can't draw in just yet because we need to draw in the sides of his face and his nose next. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So now we can see these two little curves that almost make a letter V and this little curvy L shape underneath. So for the nose, might as well just go ahead and connect the tip of his nose together there. A little curve, and connect them. And the rest of his nose, we're going to give him some nostrils. We'll start just inside the end of that V. And we'll draw a little curvy letter V right there. Almost like the tooth that you see if you look up toward the front top of the theater there on the far right-hand side, or my right-hand side, your left-hand side. You see that big image of the mandrill up there on the wall? You got those big, sharp canine teeth. Yeah, those teeth can be about 2 to 2.5 inches long. That's how mandrills protect themselves. So we're going to kind of use that same tooth-like shape over here. And draw the same shape, a little bit smaller on this side. And this time I'm going to run right up against the edge of that letter V to give them those nostrils. And I'm going to connect the nostrils to the end of the eye patch over here. So think of a trumpet horn. As it curves out, it gets a little bit wider and wider, and then we're going to connect it together. It's like the flared end of a trumpet. So that's going to give us the shape of his nose. To separate the tip of the nose from the bridge, excuse me, I'm going to take this little curve right here across his forehead. I'm just going to draw that same shape right across the top of his nose from one nostril to the other. And when you have what you like, you can go in and you can make it a little bit darker. So now we've got his eyes, we've got his nose. Let's go ahead and finish up the sides of his face. So right across from the nostril, and kind of right below the middle of his eyeball, just going to put a little mark there. And kind of even line it up with the end of this line here. Just go straight down, and put a little dot right there across from the nose. That's where the side of his face is going to end. So over here, I'm going to begin from the end of the top part of that eye patch. I'm going to pull it out a little bit past the circle. And then we're going to draw, again, this nice wavy line as it curves down, comes in a little bit, pull it back out, and then end right about there. Nice little wavy line. On this side of his face, we're going to do the same thing, just kind of going in the opposite direction. I'm going to pull it in a little bit, bring it back out to give him a little hint of a cheek. And go right about at the bottom of the circle, pull it back in, and go right down next to his nose, and we're going to add his upper lip, just a little bit above our curve here. Put another little line right about there, and connect it together. So that's going to give us the shape for his upper lip, and this becomes his chin underneath. So you start to see the shape of his face. So let's go ahead and finish up his mouth and his chin. Now, what we're not going to do is we're not going to give him those big, sharp canine teeth because we want Rafiki to be friendly and lovable. In fact, in Swahili, that's what Rafiki means, friend. So Rafiki translates to friend. Anyone know what any of the other fun Lion King characters' names translate from in Swahili? No? Anyone know what Simba means? Giraffe? Lion, yes, Simba means lion. Very creative, that Mufasa. I'm going to name my firstborn son, who is a lion. So kids, think about this next time, when you grow older and you're going to have kids of your own, name your firstborn son human. Or at least human in a different language. It'll make it sound cool. Anyone know what Pumbaa translates into? No? Now, he's kind of a foolish character, right? So Pumbaa means foolish. Zazu, I just learned this the other day, means motion. Because he's a bird, he's always flying. He's the king's right-hand man. So he is always in motion, always keeping an eye on the savannah for Mufasa. Let's see, who else is there? Anyone else got a fun name? Mufasa, of course. King or ruler, yes. If you know what Scar's original name is, anyone know what Scar's name is? Yeah, Taka. That's right. Scar's original name is Taka. Now, do you know what Taka translates to? Trash. Yeah. Mufasa, king, sovereign, ruler over all. His younger brother, trash. You wonder why he became the villain. Yeah. Ed. Yes, Ed is Swahili for magnificent flowing mane. No, it's not. But if anyone does know what Shenzi translates to, because bonsai is actually Japanese. I'm not sure what Shenzi translates to. If you know what it is, please let me know. Because like I said, I just learned about Zazu the other day. All right, so let's go ahead and finish up his chin. And I'm going to give him a little cleft in his chin. I'm going to pull up the middle a little bit and then just trace that over, bringing it right up above the corner of his face there. And we can darken in the other side here. So there's his chin, there's his upper lip. And again, we're just going to follow the shape of the chin and bring it right up toward the side. Get this nice little wavy line. So now we have the shape of his head. The next thing we're going to add are those little stripes across his cheeks. If you look up there again at the image of the real mandrill, they've got these bright blue cheek pouches. That's what those little lines are for. They're for his cheeks to expand. Just like chipmunks and squirrels, mandrills can shove food in their cheek pouches and store it for later. They can shove as much food in their cheek pouches as they can fit in their stomach. So they can have a meal, and they're nice and full and happy, and they can store a second meal in their cheek pouches for whenever they want. So they have an entire meal in their cheek pouches. So let's go ahead and draw in the shape of those pouches. And I'm going to start right here where our nose kind of meets the bottom of the blue line, going right under his eye. And we're going to kind of draw the same curve we did for his lip and his chin. A little bit smaller maybe, just swing it down and then curve it across. So it looks kind of like a little soup ladle. And do the same thing on this side. Curve it down and bring it over. And go a little bit further, give him a little bit more space, and then put the next one over here. Bring the next one down a little bit more. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. And one right over there. Keep him pretty close on this side. Give him a little bit more space toward the middle. So you get these fun little pouches. The expandable sections of those cheek pouches, kind of like an accordion folder that you might store paperwork in. And you know what, I'm going to give it one more. And right there at the nostril. Now on the mandrill, they've got lots of bright, vibrant colors on their face, blues and reds. Their nose is that nice red color, and their cheek pouches are that bright blue. The brighter and more vibrant the colors on their face, the more dominant that mandrill happens to be. So that's kind of a warning to other potential mandrills that might want to try and take over their troop. And so if they have really bright, vibrant coloring, they are an incredibly powerful and dominant monkey. And if you go out on Kilimanjaro safaris where you can see the mandrills here in the park, look for that male. Look for those bright, vibrant reds and blues on his face. There are his cheek pouches. And if you want to lightly shade those in, because they're going to be that nice bright blue color, you can add a little bit of shading there. Now, under his eye, I almost forgot to put a little wrinkle. Because Rafiki is an older character. He is Mufasa's longtime friend. And I did say that his eye patches are kind of a darker grayish color. So I'll make those a little bit darker. separating his forehead from his nose. So let's go ahead and finish up his forehead. And then the only other thing that's not hair are going to be his ears after that brow. And he does have that nice, big, pronounced brow. So I'm going to take the end of my little wave. I'm going to curve it around just below our blue line here on the side. And I'm going to swing it in and connect it to the side of his face. Make that a little darker there. And I'll do the same thing over here. Curve it out below that blue line and bring it right back in toward the side of his head. So there's that nice big brow. Above it, we can even give him some wrinkles. And the last thing that isn't hair again are his ears. And his ears are going to sit right here on top of these two little lines right next to his brow. They kind of look like an upside down version of his nostril. So there's the little tip of his ear. And just like humans, they have little folds of cartilage in their ear. They can put a little curved line to kind of show that. Primates and humans technically are primates, so we're related to monkeys. We're a little more closely related to apes, though, like gorillas and chimps. But does anybody know how to tell the difference between a monkey and an ape? It's really easy. No one? All right, well, while you're out there in the park today, this is what you do. Look for a tail. If you find a tail, it's a monkey. If you don't find a tail, it's an ape. So chimps, orangutans, the siamangs that you'll see swinging out over in Asia, no tails, so they are apes. The cotton-top tamarins that you can find over at across from Creature Comforts. Anyone like coffee? Any coffee? No. One person? Really? Wow, you're the only one who's a fan of coffee in the entire theater. Wow. That's impressive. Nobody else likes coffee. Well, for the rest of you that don't like coffee, maybe you do like some fun sandwiches and some other stuff, head over to Creature Comforts. It's the Starbucks in the park. It's just outside of Africa. And right across is the enclosure where you'll find cotton-top tamarins. These adorable little floofy monkeys, super cute, super endangered. But, and again, for those of you that do like coffee, the one person over there, go to Starbucks, go to Creature Comforts, get a flat white. It's a really good coffee. It's made with espresso and steamed milk. You can also get it cold, but it's nice and dark on the bottom. It's got that old fluffy white foam on the top, just like a cotton-top tamarin. And when you buy one of those from Creature Comforts, it's the only one in the world where you can do this, a portion of that purchase price goes to helping those adorable little floofy monkeys that you can see right across the street. So get a coffee, save a monkey. Pretty cool. And then you can take your coffee, sit outside, and enjoy the antics of the adorable little cotton-top tamarins there. So something that you can do while you're here, and then, take your paper, if you got your pencil, keep your pencil, and maybe sketch those adorable little floofy monkeys. So now that we have his face, like I said, everything else is all hair. So let's have some fun drawing hair. And hair is a lot of fun because hair always changes. It shifts from one frame of animation to another. In a traditional film like the original Lion King, it takes 24 drawings to create 1 second of animation. So for every single second Rafiki is up there on screen, that's 24 drawings. We are working on just one single frame. So if your hair doesn't look exactly like mine, or even like the person sitting next to you, it's okay. You're working on a different frame than I am. So a little bit of floof up there at the top of his head, kind of makes him look like a little onion. And if you want to shade that in, it's going to be a little bit darker, almost the same color as his eye patch. Up there at the top. And then on the sides of his face, I'm actually going to go ahead and add in his beard first. He's got this nice long, flowy beard coming off of his chin. And this fun little S shape face. And the less you think about hair, the better it's going to look. Just let your arm flow and curve. Have some fun with it. I'm just going to add these little J's to show little strands of hair here and there. Nice long flowy beard. And the original concept, Rafiki, is supposed to be a very chill, very relaxed, calm, laid-back character. Nothing would faze him. Almost Dalai Lama-esque in his appearance. But as voice actor, Robert Guillaume, he had a different idea. He wanted Rafiki to be, very wise, but a little more eccentric. So he changed up the character a little bit, made him a little more spastic, a little bit more eccentric, really, out there. But still very wise, very mystical. So now he's got his beard coming right off of his ear. I'm going to swing that around and connect it into his beard. And on this side, I'll do the same thing. Swing it right around toward the side of his face. And again, have a little fun. Break it up. Into some nice little floops of fur. And what you don't want to do is try and make him too sharp and pointy. Because remember, he is a friend. He is a mentor character to both Mufasa and to Simba. So you want to keep him soft and friendly. If you find a Rafiki plush out there, I don't know if we even sell Rafiki plush. I know we sell Simba plush, lots of Simba plush. But if there is a Rafiki, maybe you find a t-shirt with Rafiki on it while you're out there in one of the shops today. Cool thing you can do while you're here, round up your purchase to the nearest dollar. That little extra bit of change will go into the Disney Conservation Fund. For those of you who know what that is, awesome. If you don't, it's how Disney gives grant money, subsidies to groups around the world that help to protect animals, like the Lion Recovery Fund, helping to repopulate lions and teaching humans how to live with lions and other large carnivores out in Africa. And the cool thing about the Conservation Fund, Disney will match anything that's donated. So if you round up your purchase, add that little extra nickel, Disney will match that. Maybe you won the Powerball over the weekend. You've got a few $1 million burning a hole in your pocket. Throw some of that toward the Conservation Fund. Disney will match that. And that goes to amazing groups and projects around the planet helping to protect animals. Like lions, like the cotton-top tamarins, elephants, sharks, endangered birds, etc. But there you go. Once you've added in all of that fun floof, you have just drawn Rafiki. Whether your drawing of Rafiki is horrible or adorable, be proud of him. Put your name on there. Sign it, date it, take him home, hang him up in a place of honor like a refrigerator. Whether it's yours, your neighbor's, Lowe's, Home Depot's, hang them on a fridge somewhere. The pencils, those are our gifts to you. Take them with you. Like I said, go out into the park and use them to sketch the animals that you see out there. If you don't want the pencils, that's okay. When you exit to the right, there's a bin that says pencil recycling. Please put them in there and we will recycle them for you. And finally, last but not least, the lap boards. Make sure they stay on your seat. If you want to be a super awesome human, make sure you put them propped up against the back of the seat the way they were when you came in, because we would really appreciate that. But we hope you guys had fun. We hope you enjoy the rest of your adventures here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you all for joining us in the animation experience at Conservation Station. Please gather your personal belongings before exiting, and remember to take your artwork with you. We hope you enjoy the rest of your visit at Rafiki's Planet Watch and the rest of your adventure here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Goodbye.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
No recruiters are hiding in the bushes, waiting to jump out and look at your drawing going, that's the most amazing Rafiki I have seen. since James Baxter drew him for the original film. That's not going to happen today. That was yesterday.